So what's going on YouTube? I am back with another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Last of Us Season 1. Now I will say, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I originally filmed this video, but I tried to upload it twice. It never did go through. So I thought, you know what? I didn't like how it turned out. I'm going to wait. I want to get it just right. And I'm kind of glad for that reason because I know in the last one, I said I have not played part two. I actually do have part two. I have been playing it, so um, I am gonna, finish playing part two before I watch season two. That's the reason why I'm just doing the review for season one. Now, for me, I'm just gonna get straight into it. Um, if if you can get for me, if you can get past all the BS from when the show's being made, when it's being released, I actually didn't. I did like the first season. Um, for what they didn't exactly, copy the game. I played the first game and then decided to watch the show and see what it was like. And at least it wasn't shot to shot, remake just from copying the game. At least they did change it up. Like, there's a few episodes, I know, after playing the first game, oh, they changed that. That's, from the game. Um, I think it's been a while since I watched the first season, so I'm not exactly sure. I know episode 3 was one of them. I know that. Um, but there's certain episodes where they did, change up the lore a little bit from the game to the show, and I'm glad they did do that. Um, but I'm not going. I don't want to say, too much. From you know about the show, just in case no one still have not watched it. Um, I like how in the show they started off in uh 2003 and then it skipped ahead to I think 2023. I think it was. I'm not 100% sure on it, so I'm glad they did that for the lore. They changed the when um for when the outbreak did start, and I'm not exactly sure for the game when the game they did start it um, for it. But for the show, I will say if you can get past all the BS from all of it, I think if you play the game, if you can get past, like I said, you can get past all the BS from it. Actually, is a good show. Um, I don't know exactly what to say. I will say it's not like a typical um zombie show. I will say that. Normally for zombie stuff, not a huge fan of it. I rarely like zombie stuff. Zombie things are the worst kind of horror movies I just can't get into. There's very few I like, including Last of Us. Last of Us is actually one I do like. Because it's not really trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. It's not um you just trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. There's other things about it. It's basically a story where um basically the story of how two people actually hate each other when they first met, and then they grew. If you've seen the first season, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like a father-daughter relationship. If you've seen by the cover, and that's what I'm saying. It's not typically like a zombie show. It's like a father-daughter relationship. When they first meet, they hate each other, and then uh, the more you play the game or the more you watch the show, um, the relationship does get better, and I will say that. And it's not them just trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. They're actually, um, it's not typical like another surviving. It's more about um how like I said, the father daughter relationship they had, and they grew to actually grew to the father daughter relationship. Like I've been saying, computer's doing this. But I'm trying to think more to say about it. I will say, um, there was another thing I was thinking of. I can't think of it. I will say for the villains, they was spot on for the human villains in there, not just the clickers and the bloaters. I'm not exactly sure how many bloaters there was on the show. I know there was one. That's the reason I said bloaters just in case, because like I said, it's been a while since I watched it. For the human villains, they was, mostly spot on from the game. The way they acted like the game. For a Prince price for the game, I'm not exactly sure about that, but I know for what they did in the game, what they did in the show, it was literally spot on. It was like literally just like came straight out of the game. I will say that. And normally I don't talk about games, but for this one, I don't know how else to compare it to. Like, I mean, I play some games. I'm not really. I will say I'm not a big gamer. Play on a few consoles. That's it. Um, so I'm not really a huge gamer. So for me, talking about like game to TV show application, I'm not really a huge. I don't really like talking about that. But for The Last of Us, it is different because if you think of like normally like zombie stuff, I can't really get into it, and so like I said, it is different. So I'm glad I did play the game. I will say, I think I'm not exactly sure if you have played the game or you need to play the game first to understand the show. Like I said, it changes the lore, but I don't think if you play the game first, make you like it better. Um, it just pretends. I think normally if you like zombie shows, you may like it. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, you probably will like it. For me, normally not into the huge zombie stuff. Um, that's the one thing I don't really get into. But um, I'm hoping for. Now I will say it for the. I'm not gonna spoil nothing about season one. But I will say I hope for the start of season two, it does end off when the first season ends off. I hope it does. Like I said, I'm still playing the second game, so um, I have not seen nothing about season two, so I'm not. That's why I'm saying like I have not seen season two. I've not seen nothing of it yet. I'm still playing the second game. Um, so um, so I'm hoping because I remember the ending of season one. I hope they do start off where season one ends and go from there. That's one thing I do hope for. Like I said, if you've seen the ending of season one and you remember it, you know what I'm talking about. Um, I'm trying to think like anything else I want to say about season one. I will say for like the clickers and the boaters, they did look spot on also from the game. It looked like they come straight out of the game. For the ones who don't know what I'm talking about, clickers are like zombies and in the show or game. Um, or gamer show, whatever you want to say it. But for like I said, the clickers now the bloaters, they're like a I want to say like they're a big version of a clicker. I'm not exactly sure what they are, so that's the reason why I'm not really. Um, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking they're like a big version of a clicker. Um, so I will say they was spot on. Um, for another thing, for the setting where it does take place, it does look like it did come out straight out of the game also. Um, but like I say, if you can get past the BS from when the show was being made, um, if you know what I'm talking about, um, I actually did enjoy it for what it was. It's like you know, now did it bother me a little bit? Not much, not much. Um, not much. It did bother me a little bit when it first starts. Like I think the more you watch it, you just like get used to it, and that's and that's one thing I did like. I mean, not one thing I like, but you know, I think it was still overall like episode 1. I was still hooked on from the beginning. Um, so I will say, like I said, if you get past from different game in the show, you may like it, or you just typically like the zombie stuff, you may like it also. Um, you know, for the settings and um, the setting and the 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 human characters of the villains, they were spot on. The clickers, the bloaters, um, they was also. It kind of looked like most of it is like mostly straight out of the game to the television. And then there was a few things they did change. I know episode 3, um, that was different from the game. I will say that it was a little bit different. Not much. It was a little bit different. Um, so um, I think that's all I can say about it. I don't want to say more for the whole spore thing. I don't want to say anything just because I haven't seen anything. But um, I'm gonna end this video. I'm hoping this one will upload this time. So I have been your host with the most movies. I am Daniel, the movie fan.